Uh, Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on unmasking AI-driven cyber risk. ISC2 chapter is honored to have with us Colonel Shubhojit Naha, retired, a decorated veteran of the Indian Army Corps of Signals and recognized cybersecurity thought leader. With over 25 years plus of experience in electronic warfare, cybersecurity, and national cyber defense, he now leads Protect Technologies, a company at the forefront of cyber resilience and compliance. Colonel Na has trained thousands of professionals, advised global enterprises, and is a mentor to emerging cybersecurity talents across Asia. His unique perspective bridges battlefield tactics with cyber warfare strategies, making him one of the most sought and after voice in these domains. Let us welcome him as he takes us through the rising tide of AI powered threats and how we can defend against them. Uh, Colonel Naha, over to you now.
Right, Paramveer, thanks for this introduction. And so I thought, you've been telling me to take a webinar for quite some time now, and
Yes,
I thought, right, and I recently did this for another community, and says, okay, fine. So I was prepared with the presentation, so I said, why not, take it forward. Right. So what I will try to do in next 30 to 40 minutes max. I generally keep my presentations very short, right? So what I'll do is I'll give us a perspective, a high level perspective of how AI risks are evolving, okay, and what's happening on both the governance, compliance, and at the technical front, right? So why we need to look at it now, because there are many issues, there will be many concerns which we'll have to meet over a period of time as AI evolves. It's just the beginning, and there's going to be a lot of evolution from here, right? Paramveer already introduced me, and just a second, right? So I happen to, I've served for quite some time in the Indian Army, and then for the last 3 years, I've been in the corporate, come consulting, come entrepreneur journey of mine. So it's a new life for me. And well, I thought once I will quit Army and I'll come out and I'll find very, very evolved and mature cybersecurity, governance framework, structures. But to my surprise, I saw the challenges which we had in the armed forces right from when I joined in 2000, and once it started evolving in around 2003, right? Somewhere down the line, once I came out and I interacted with very, very mature organizations, or even organizations who just do not know what cybersecurity is all about, I realized that, well, the outside world, the businesses are still at an evolution stage, probably what we were in around 20 years back, right? I'm not trying to boast, but Armed Forces is a very, very compliance-oriented organizations, and their rules are implemented very, very vehemently. Now, if the rules are implemented very, very vehemently, you have adequate resources. What I saw outside was resource is a major crunch. If the resource was a major crunch, I tried that, okay, what is it that's going to bridge this resource crunch? Resource crunch can only be, brought in by education, training, certifications. And from there, I started my journey. It was one fine day when I took a small free webinar for training people for CISSP, and that has evolved into one small action in your life, evolves into something bigger. Today, I can call myself an entrepreneur. We are a small company of around 25 people. In last 18 months, we've seen tremendous growth, and we now have global footprint. We have expanded into Middle East and US at the same time, right? And I attribute a lot of it to ISC Square, and that's why I attributed a lot of it to ISC Square is because CISSP opened my eyes, and I took CISSP as one of the baselines for the information and cybersecurity, profession. So you must have seen me everywhere. I always propagate that no matter who you are, no matter whether you're a tech person or a non-tech person, please go and get CISSP. It's going to help you in your career and in your life, right? So enough of about me. What I will do today is try to give you a high-level overview of how is AI shaping the cyber threat landscape, right? And as always, we should be able to identify common AI-enabled cyber threats, and there are going to be a lot. I'll give you very, very simple, demonstrations of how I can today become a threat to your enterprise in no time, in exactly no time. It will take me 5 minutes to create a phishing mail, deliver it to you, bypass DKIM, SPF, DMARC, bypass your email security settings, reach the targeted, uh, you know, role or responsibility who I want to target, make them, take them to a website which looks absolutely genuine with an absolute domain name, and at the same time, we'll be able to harvest your credentials in no time. So that's more of the social engineering side, right? So there has to be some kind of governance frameworks which now has to evolve. So how cybersecurity today is impacting, once I look at organizations, is firstly the impact on governance. There's going to be huge impact on governance with organizations either adopting the present generation AI tools, or organizations trying to develop their own AI models, AI tools, trying to train the models with data which they have, incorporated over last 100, 200 years of their incorporation, right? So there is going to be a lot happening in this space, and it's very important that as security professionals, we have initially a high-level understanding, and definitely then as tech professionals, we need to understand the tech behind it. So this is my short objective for this presentation today, or a knowledge session, and what it can mean to you or to your organization, right? So what we are going to understand is how AI is being used in cybersecurity. So presently there's this conference going out in Dubai, JISEC Dubai, and we just closed in RSAC, RSA in California. We had TICON event in California, right? And so there is something called show and pomp, and there is something called actual AI. What is show and pomp? So what you will see is a lot of cybersecurity companies saying AI animals, AI driven, that's sales. That's completely sales, right? Now, if you look at the threat landscape of AI, right, you will see that a lot of your tasks are going to get easier, right? Your triaging is going to get easier. Your policy formulation is going to get easier. You can achieve more automation, right? But at the same time, what you will see is a very, very large rise in the quantum of attacks, because now, some way it is good and bad both. Now, today, if I want to write a code, right, I go back 20 years when I started learning COBOL, C, C++. So my programming fundamentals are very, very clear. You give me a language and I can code, right? But when I go back to my son and says, hey, can you write a program? He says, why do I need to write a program? I can just ask ChatGPT to write it for me. Or I will go to Replit, and whatever you want, I can make it working in 10 minutes. So I hope you, if some of you are aware of Replit, right? Replit is a AI-driven software platform. You can build a end-to-end CRUD operation application in exactly 10 minutes. A working application with a database, with a middleware or an application and a front end, exactly 10 minutes. That means today, if you have basic understanding of how applications work, web applications work, you can create a beautiful website in 10 minutes exactly, right? So that's the best part, good part. Now, it's going to be dual nature. Everything is dual nature, right? So the good part, and there will be bad part. So benefits you will see enormously in the field of SOC triaging, anomaly detection. So because anomaly is going to be, because what happens is once you'll have a large quantum of attacks coming in, what will happen is your previous data-driven or signature-driven, security, it will probably start falling short. And that's where your anomaly-based detection will start increasing. So you have to understand how anomaly-based detection works. Anomaly-based detection works on basic statistical algorithms on correlation, regression, and you'll say baseline formations, right? So what you will see is more and more algorithms which will come in helping you in detecting anomalies, right? So that will be a good part. But you will see a large quantum of social engineering attacks being driven by each and everyone. Anyone who wants to benefit from AI has a little bit of technical mindset, you know, sitting idle, doesn't have a job, he'll get into the wrong side of AI and will definitely exploit it to cause harm, right? So that would be the dual nature which we will have to deal with. So therefore, you will see governance issues coming in. How do you deal with at the policy space? How you will deal with the same in the technology space? And how do you deal with the same in the people space, right? Now, one of the common attacks in the last few 18 months or so since chat GPT has been introduced. Now, I've been into the AI space for quite some time now, to be frank. I started exploring AI-driven algorithms way back in 2016, and that was the beginning of, I will say, open source LLM models, right? ChatGPT made it famous, but let me tell you that the AI space has been hot since 2012, right? And 2016 is when you had open source models freely available uh, on GitHub, right? Uh, which were being trained. So I'll just to give you one example, I was working in the army then, I was commanding a unit, and I gave my tech teams a very simple problem statement. I said, look, once we go on the borders and we have a huge problem of detecting between animals versus terrorists when they are infiltrating through the LC fence, right? That's one of the very, very basic problem because in bad weather, you cannot your heat machines cannot detect between a human being and a cow, right? A very, very simple problem statement, and that's how terrorists would infiltrate. So we said, okay, let's find, can we drive this with AI? So what we did was we bought two GPUs in 2018. We trained the model to come to an accuracy where the camera would now be able to detect very, very closely with almost 98% accuracy between a human signature in a foggy environment, in a rainy environment. It could now detect, because it was trained in a model, so to now detect it with much more assurance. So that's what it was in the physical space. The same you can train LLM models. Uh, main so will be the NLP models, where you can do a correlation analysis between the bit streams and find out, okay, where is the anomaly lie. Now, in last 18 months, majority, rise has been in the deep fakes, right? So there are a lot of companies where, somebody with right now, like we're having a meeting, I can come in with a small uh, Chrome extension, right? I can create a program on Python. Please go to GitHub. There's a beautiful application which can help you in training the model. There are pre-trained models for Elon Musk. There are pre-trained models for any other top shot. There is a Tom Cruise sitting. So what you need to do is you just need to run that software, install the Chrome browser, and right, you will be seeing me as someone, Tom Cruise or anyone who want to. Now that's for experimentation, but it can be driven to somewhere more complex, wherein you can now feed a lot of information and pick up OSINT information from social media and train those model. And now actually those attacks have started happening in the, at least in the public space, where today I can take my daughter's picture, train the model, and some other girl is sitting and somebody gives a call to my wife and says, mama, I'm kidnapped or something. My wife is going to transfer the entire money what's lying in her account, right? So what will ultimately happen is you're going to see a lot of threats, right? So what we have commonly seen is deepfakes has been the mainstay as of now. There's someone. May I request to kindly mute your mics, please? Thank you. Right, thank you. So deepfakes has been one of the major, major uh, threat vector, wherein a lot of threat elements have collected a lot of information from your social sites and have been able to successfully carry out deepfake attacks on organizations, made organizations pay a lot of money, right? So this is something which you need to train your management and the board, because generally management and the board will be more senior people. They may not be aware. So awareness is one of the major, we all know that awareness is one of the major. So how to detect deepfakes? As of now, the deepfake technology is not so mature. So what happens is, since the GPU is running at the back end, there's going to be a lag. That's one thing. And second thing is, so what happens is, if you look into the technology of deepfaking and AI, there's a pixel layer which is created on top of your uh, movement, right? So the very basics of detecting deepfake would be just to ask the subject to move his hands right in front of the camera, and it will not detect it. But the models are going to evolve. That's right now. So as of now, the models which are available, you can easily detect them by a simple awareness that, if you're a suspect, if you see something not right, just ask the person to wave their hands and you will get caught. Because the moment you move the hand, what will happen is the background will, it's just a layer, right? So that layer is going to move. AI powered phishing. So what has happened is, over a period of time, earlier we could, anyone who is well aware could detect a phishing email in no time. There would be a lot of grammatical errors, and you could just easily point out that that's a fish. But today, I can draft a beautiful English and a good image in no time, right? So it would be AI powered phishing would be a real time. It's already happening. Now AI malware. Now I can show you how to create a malware in just uh, 3 lines of command, right? Uh, and that would launch a command and control, a simple Python script which will deliver a command and control, server into your. I will just embed it in the link, deliver it to you. It will run, and even your EDR will not be able to detect it. Let me tell you very clearly, right? Because it will be such a small signature that the EDR will not even collect that telemetry. So you will see a lot of evolution in malware now. So you will see that there's a huge amount of malware evolution which will affect your EDR. So that's where your challenge will be, where your EDR, XDR solutions, how much telemetry are they collecting, uh, whether they're able to detect the signature or not, whether they're able to build the anomaly detection or not, is going to be critical. Now, next is chatbot manipulation. Now, it's already happened. The chatbot manipulation is already happening. So what is happening is, what threat actors are doing, since the LLM models are open source, they are uh, training the models on bad data, right? Now, there have been instances where, there are people who have asked a chatbot that my parents have, blocked my access to a website. What should I do? So the chatbot replies, murder your parents. Right now, that is the kind of manipulation you can. And I don't know whether you have gone into your kids' play. Very frequently keep checking what they are doing on their digital devices. You cannot stop your kids from using digital devices. It will be highly wrong to say that you can keep your kids away from digital devices, and that would be a very wrong thing to do. What I do is, I audit their devices. I audit what kind of applications are they using. Are they using some AI-enabled chatbots? Now, a lot of these games, they come with chatbots, inbuilt, and these chatbots are trained on pre data for customer support. Like, I can train them that, okay, if the customer asks, I'm having this problem, what will be the reply? So those replies and all, the chatbot is already trained on that, right? Yesterday also, I was working on a RAG, simple agentic AI RAG on ChatGPT 4.0, and I could easily train the ChatGPT agentic AI very simply with, I say, okay, my website needs a customer support. I could easily train it, and there's a beautiful playground given on OpenAI's playground. So you can easily learn. It's not something very technical where you have to be a programmer or something. You just need to know how to connect APIs and how to train your model. So it's becoming easy. So what is happening is we as technologists can do it, but the problem is majority of non-techs will probably not be able to do it. Okay. Now, one of the most difficult part as a security professional I always found was reconnaissance. Okay, to find out that entry point into the target is one of the most difficult tasks. Let me be very frank. Okay, I have to do a lot of effort to invoke my target to send me an email, and I extract his actual IP. I extract his public IP from where I can carry out a recon. Now that's something very, very difficult and time consuming for someone. But this comes as very, very easy, right? So I can build now automated reconnaissance using Nmap, right? And OpenVAS, and maybe 1 month free Nessus or Qualys. I can have a ready-made recon tool for 30 days because obviously Qualys gives me only 30 days license as free. Uh, I can launch an automated attack in no time. Exactly, right? So that's something which is now real time. And you don't have to know how to do it. Go to ChatGPT and ask, help me launch automated recon of I want to be a VAPT professional and I want to automate my recon process. So you are actually bypassing the AI's prompt control and can easily get a response. Right. So many of you would have seen this video of deepfake and how it works. I hope it works on the link which I'm sharing right now. Right. So yeah, it's working. Right. Let me see.
Jordan Peele created this fake video of President Obama to demonstrate how easy it is to put words in someone else's mouth.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Not everyone bought it, but the technology behind such frauds is rapidly improving, even as worries increase about their potential for harm. This is your Bloomberg Quick Take on deepfakes. Deepfakes, or realistic-looking fake videos and audio, gained popularity as a means of adding famous actresses into porn scenes. Despite bans on major websites, they remain easy to make and find. They're named for the deep learning artificial intelligence algorithms that make them possible. Input real audio or video of a specific person, the more the better, and the software tries to recognize patterns in speech and movement. Introduce a new element like someone else's face or voice, and a deepfake is born.
It's extremely easy to make one of these things. There were just breakthroughs from academic researchers who work with this particular kind of machine learning in the past few weeks, which would drastically reduce the amount of video you need to create one of these.
Programs like FakeOut, the most popular and widely available for making deepfakes, need dozens of hours of human assistance to create a video that looks like this rather than this. In August, researchers at Carnegie Mellon revealed software that accurately rendered not just facial features, but changing weather patterns and flowers in bloom. This advance is not yet available to the public, but with increasing capability comes increasing concern.
This is kind of fake news on steroids, potentially.
Right. So this was just a small video of how deepfakes are taking over, and it's still difficult for a normal person to actually create a deepfake, but everything is open source. It will take you, if you are a little bit thorough with Python, right? It will exactly take you 6 to 12 hours of work to create your own, deepfake model, right? And you can replicate your CEO or anyone else, right? So technology is there, available, and people are going to make use of it to carry out deepfake attacks. Right. Now, AI-powered phishing, as I told you, there will be a lot of AI-driven phishing using ChatGPT. Let me just give you a small demonstration. I don't know whether I'm sharing my screen right now. Okay, I'll share my screen. Just give me a second. Let me close the things, and I show you how much time it actually takes to launch a very, very authentic AI-driven phishing attack, and I can automate it, right? So how do I automate it? There are a lot of beautiful tools available to automate the same, right? So I'm sharing my screen right now, okay? So first thing that I would like to showcase is okay, how many of you are aware of Replit, right? Okay, so what I'm going to show you is this is my online academy, right? How much time will it take for you to have a 3-tier application? Can you just chat it out? Can anyone tell me how much time will it take to create a website which is fully functional with all the forms, student login, LMS, courses, query forms, and how much time will it take with an active database? Any of you who have programmed or created a web application? Okay, this will take roughly 3 months to, if you get a front-end developer, of a developer and a database guy, or a full stack guy, it'll take you 3 months. It took me exactly 10 minutes to create this application. This is the application. Look at this. I can chat with the chatbot and create a working application in no time, right? So let me just show you. Now imagine if I want to carry out a social engineering attack, I can draft a email, okay, make you land on a very, very authentic looking website, and I will tell you that 10% of you will fall into phishing. There have been such sophisticated phishing attacks that I myself, there have been times where even I have fallen for those attacks. Okay, so yes, phishing is going to be your major mainstay, which will be now very, very difficult to detect. So what you should do is a domain whitelisting is going to be a major requirement, and DKIM, SPF, and DMARC are going to be your mainstay, right? You can also look at email security solution like Sublime, right? Because Sublime, what it does is it connects with your email API and has a very beautiful detection engine. And that is where you can have, you don't need to connect your gateways. Your email security can be on-prem or on cloud, directly connected with your email APIs, right? That would be a good solution to get with AI-powered phishing. AI-driven malwares are going to be very, very simple to build. It took me exactly one single prompt to create a command and control server, right? And what is a command and control server? A server which runs on your machine and gives me access to your machine, right? So gone are the days when I need to learn programming. If I'm a little bit, I understand a little bit of MITRE attack framework or kill chain, I can easily create a malware. Now, what threat actors are doing is, since the LLM models are open source, now they're training the LLM models, the APTs majorly. Now, APTs are training the LLM models on much more stronger bad data, right? And once you train, there's one way of training the model on good data. And the second thing is training the model on bad data, creating command and control servers, creating payloads, weaponizing your payloads, right? So that's going to be something which you will see very, very, this will be increasing. And therefore, what you will be doing as a proactive, in proactive defenses, you're going to have a very, very good threat intel, because all these groups are working on Telegram, dark web. You need to be part of their group. You need to keep your eyes on what kind of models are they training, right? What kind of models are they made available to the APT groups. So you need to infiltrate into APT groups, become a APT shadow, and keep your eye on the threat, because they somewhere down the line since they do not have to abide by any laws and regulation, and generally they are state sponsored, they have better resources to work on. So nothing bad in becoming part of a shadow APT group and, getting their intel. Now, what is chatbot manipulation? I told you, right? I take a LLM model. I start feeding it with wrong data. I start feeding it with information to manipulate. That means, say I create generally this happens in the social space, on the dark space, manipulation towards children or the society which can be manipulated, the society which is under the poverty, baselines, or society which might be have certain religious affiliations, and such kind of things where manipulation can work. Now, ChatGPT is a good, form of chatbot. It gives you good results. It increases your efficiency. Now, imagine I give you a bad chatbot. Imagine I release a bad chatbot which helps you in creating bombs, which helps you in creating malwares, which helps you in creating MFA bypass, right? So if I am an APT, I will train such model and make it available to a specific group to launch attack on your nation state or your organizations, right? So what you will see is slowly and steadily, you have to keep your eyes on, if your organizations are working with the AI models, you have to see that the training with which that model is being trained, if there is any kind of incorrect data or dark data in that, your model is going to get manipulated. Now, if you see what happened with chatbot 4.1, which ChatGPT released and rolled back in 2 days, was a problem with manipulation. What happened? ChatGPT trained its model, made it available, and the children asked that my father has blocked me on iPad, and what should I do? The ChatGPT replied, "Kill your dad." Right? So that's manipulation. Now, what happens, how AI models work is there is something called supervision, which is human supervised data trade, and there is unsupervised learning. Now, unsupervised learning is going to be very, very dangerous. Now, unsupervised learning means that AI model is going to learn on its own. Now, how does it learn? Does it learn good part or bad part is something, do you have that visibility? And therefore, you have to slowly understand that this manipulation can happen due to human intervention or AI going rogue and training itself on data which may not be correct to train. Right. Automated recon, I told you, I can show you, but paucity of time, I may not be able to give you a demo. I can create a simple recon or a VAPT tool in exactly 30 minutes, right? By using Nmap and OpenVAS or Nessus, I can create a VAPT tool in exactly 30 minutes, right? And you just have to put an IP address and it will find out everything about your whatever is available on. I can connect Shodan, I can connect multiple APIs, okay, and I can create automated reconnaissance or an automated VAPT engine in exactly 30 minutes to an hour, right? So what will happen is you will see a lot of reconnaissance happen. So what I will say, you can have something called active proxy. So what is active proxy is you have something where your proxy is continuously changing the external facing IP address. So you should have a pool of a very, very dynamic IP, right? Which should continuously change. But there are again technical problems with that also. So security is going to be a cat and mouse game, and we have to keep evolving and understand how the threat is going to manifest. Now, what has happened is you will see a lot of even kids using, already script kiddies where people who are buying simple tools on the dark web to launch, attacks on your enterprise or organizations. I've been part of many such shadow groups where, you can deliver a rat for like $50, right? So ransomware as a service. In ransomware as a service, the APT group will deliver the ransomware on the target. It will charge you $50. And once the attack is successful and you get a ransom, then the booty is shared, and the booty is shared in a very, very religious and honest manner. Let me be very frank, right? So if I have paid you $50 to launch the attack and the attack is successful and you get $10,000 out of it, and the pre-shared arrangement is that the booty will be shared 70-30, it's very honestly shared. So when the honor code is very high amongst the shadow attackers, right? Already, we are already seeing a lot of dark web activity in AI. People are making AI tools and selling it for $50, $20, $100, right? And deepfake tools are available. So what this is going to be a very, very complex challenge now, because technical attacks, the veracity of technical attacks, is going to be very difficult for you to analyze. And you will see already India suffers from a lot of cybercrime. I'm very sure that our our youth, which is very technically oriented, rather than using it for good part, probably will end up using it for bad. Right. Enterprise is going to have a major, major issue, and your personal space is also going to have a large effect. From enterprise point of view, there will be a lot of misinformation, risks. Your organization will start incorporating AI-generated, tool sets. So what kind of data is being fed, how it is being trained, will become one of the factors. Second factor is, service. India is a service it's a service-oriented economy right now in the IT space, right? Now, a service-oriented economy holds a lot of customer data, right? And how will that data reach public LLM models? That's something which you have to think about, right? Like your customer has given you one set of information and you want to generate some task very quickly, and you take that model, you take the data, it's PDF, you download it, put it on ChatGPT or any other tool, DeepSeek, right? And you ask them, okay, can you give me a report on this? You get a report, you get a job done. But what has happened is you have surely, gone against the data regulations, right? So this is something which is going to be very, very critical, right? You will see a lot of data of your organization reaching this public LLM models, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Llama, and all other models. So this is going to be a huge, huge, huge enterprise risk. Now, to negate this risk, what enterprises have done is they've banned public LLM models. Now, that's not a solution. There has to be some more mature solutions. Technology has to be used. Technology has to be driven, and that's something very important. Data poisoning is something which I already explained, right? What if I feed wrong data to a model? And of course, I'll get wrong explanation, right? Present generation, models are not so, they are not good at explaining things because they have been trained on what data is available. What about the data which I'm thinking of right now, right? That is not available. So you will see whether that evolution happens or not. That evolution as of now has not been possible. So when we talk about AGI, though scientists are saying, but the creativity of human mind is human beings have learned over millions of years. Please understand, our brains carry the DNA of millions of years, right? And only 1% of that data is available today in the open source, to be frank, because humans have the capability to think something which nobody else can think. I can think of going to the end of this universe. Can LLM model think so? And can it interpret it? Maybe not, right? It will only interpret it what you have interpreted and provided in open source. So the lack of explainability right now is not there. And therefore, in present day tasks, do not rely completely on AI generated content, AI generated text, because you might end up losing your job because you did a very bad work in not reading what you produced. So what are the best defensive practices available to us right now, right? Which is zero trust. Don't trust anything. So security professionals do not trust. So how do we implement zero trust for AI, right? So whether you're using AI for modeling or whether you're using AI for productivity, don't trust the AI, right? And you have to have guardrails. So we are now talking about AI guardrails as to what data can be fed, what is the amount of learning you would like to your AI tool. So those are going to fall in your governance and policy building framework, right? Majority of tools today, EDR, SIEM, XDRs already are utilizing correlation and regression based tools, right? Algorithms to create anomaly detections, right? Incorporate a lot of secure development practices. So your SDLC processes have to be very, very, very secure, very, very formalized, because if not, what will happen is your developers will start straight away copying data, code from ChatGPT and other coding tools. And though enterprises will be very happy because they will reduce the workforce, but you will definitely see, because I have worked extensively with AI development tools, and I have found there's a lot of repetitive work, there's a lot of junk code, and that itself brings in a lot of vulnerabilities, right? So there could be a backdoor which you have not even seen, right? So development practices, if you are in a software company or where you are incorporating software where AI-driven software is being pushed to you, please have a very, very strict SBOM to understand how the software has been used. And therefore, there has to be good GRC process around what kind of AI tools are being used, how to develop an AI audit framework, right? And if you look at it, ISO 42001 has been an initial effort towards building a rough GRC framework towards AI, but it's still a work in progress, and we have a lot to see how this space evolves. Right. So how to stay safe, right? Yeah, staying skeptical is always better. Whenever you see perfection somewhere, be alarmed. If there is perfection today, please train your employees. Don't believe anything which is perfect. If it is perfect, just go away from it. Zero trust, trust but verify. These are the simple processes which we need to teach everyone. Learn to spot deepfakes. As of now, just ask your, if you are in doubt, just ask someone to wave the hand in front of the camera, right? Multi-factor authentication will help you so that your even if your credentials are leaked, at least the MFA is not bypassed. Try to see how you will limit your organizational data being fed to uh, your just a second. How that data is being fed to your AI models, right? So you have to build guardrails wherein client data or regulatory space data is not shared to AI models, public AI models. Now, most of the organizations today are building their own models. So the enterprises are organizations which have a lot of R&D budgets. They are developing their own AI models. I was recently reading EY has developed its own model and training its model to become a white collar, professional. So they have 200 years of 150 years of data. They can train their models on that data, right? You also have to have now your CERT teams, your incident response teams, your reporting channels to, incorporate AI risks also into their workflow, right? You will soon see a lot of AI-driven attacks coming in, so you should be able to draw KPIs, KRIs also to see whether how much was AI-driven and how much was not, and that's where you'll be able to take more mature and informed decisions. Yeah. So what are the future trends? We see already AI governance being driven very, very vehemently. So Europe always takes, front seat whenever it is all about AI, right? So what it does is, I've seen generally EU comes with frameworks the first, right? So what has happened is you see already ISO 42001 is in place, right? We're already talking about ethical use of AI. Are you going to have ethical use of AI? Or are we going to have unethical use of AI? So it's going to be something which we need to see. Automated response. If you can launch automated attacks, I can have automated response triggered. So if I can train the models to detect AI-driven attacks, so I can train the model to launch a AI-driven SOAR kind of capabilities where, I can have certain automation and response. My major concern goes in data privacy and copyright, right? I know that most of the public models have been trained on my data, existing data, and I have tried to, bypass guardrails on ChatGPT to see whether how much data it can throw about me. It throws a lot of data about me. It throws the day probably I've been to internet, right? There are because you can easily bypass the guardrails which ChatGPT has. So it has been trained on data as far as my first day on the internet probably. Right? So there is going to be privacy and copyright concerns. You must have seen already Google and OpenAI already have gone and requested the government of US to scrap privacy and copyright acts as far as AI is concerned. So because we all know that they have trained on, there are a lot of copyright issues, and we are going to see a lot of litigations coming very soon on Google and on OpenAI. Right. This is what I could deliver in this short time frame. I hope you've been able to gain some knowledge, right? There could be some technical sessions we will carry out later, but the aim is to just to give you a brief introduction and provide you a high-level understanding of what is happening in the space and how you can start building on the governance frameworks, technical standards, and others, right? I'm done. If you have any questions, you may please ask, and I'll try to take them on.
Hi, team. Any questions, please? Hi, Shubhajit. I have one question.
Yeah. Please.
So can I integrate in some way any AI tool or ChatGPT for counter checking purposes for phishing? So, for example, if I can integrate it with my Outlook, when in email it comes, some phishing email comes, so it can cross check that yes, this is a suspicious link.
Yeah. Very easy. Very easy. We build a product. We have built a product which will integrate with your email API, right? And will study your complete header, context, anomaly, and can easily quarantine your email. And India doesn't have any product. One of the major product right now in email security is Sublime. Sublime is a company based out of US which started in 2019 by two ex-military guys again. And we also started with preparing email security solutions. So what we did was same. We understood that phishing remains 90% of the time. Major attacks remain on the phishing front, right? So let's first take on that vector. And AI has helped us in developing a lot of those indicators and behavior analysis.
I think by using that kind of solution, at least for employees, it will be helpful because
yes,
only training may not be suffice, because when I have worked with the corporates, I've seen they are so overloaded that just cybersecurity is just an additional task for them. They cannot go into nitty-gritties and so in depth with this kind of thing. They are concentrated in their own tasks so deeply that many times they can't go.
Security ultimately, when your attacks are so high, you have to live with it. So once you see, okay, what if I click on that link? What happens? Right. Ultimately, even if I click on that link, if I've got a good network exposure or a DNS security, ultimately it will get blocked unless I do not have multi-layered security. But yes, one of the best solutions today possibly are email detection and response systems. And I'll tell you, if you deploy such tools, 90% of the headaches are over actually.
And these are really actually major attacks are happens through these kind of emails only. Mostly.
As of now, major attacks are happening through. I'll say 91% of attacks are through emails.
So this was really a very eye-opening session for us. I want to Thank you on behalf of the ISC2 Delhi chapter. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this, and it will be very helpful to our audience as well. And those who could not join, who are traveling, have messaged me, then they will be watching this video after uploading on our YouTube channel. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paramveer, and thanks to
thank you.
ISC2.
Just a minute, Shubhojit.
Yeah.
I have, first and foremost, I would say this was very